Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News. This is a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, the first thing that I have to talk about this week is Austin Augie's Dawn of the Streets 2020 Jam that is going to be happening September 12th. This is a little bit different than last year, but if you remember last year, he gave away like $5,000 or something like that at this jam. This year he's doing it again, but it's a little bit different. This year there's going to be 25 invited pros to come out and compete for this $5,000. And then it also says any amateurs that feel that they can compete can also come out and compete for this $5,000 as well. And I'm going to run through the rider list real quick for you guys. We have got Ethan Corriere, Hobie Doan, Reed Stark, Matt Clausen, Brad Sims, Brett Silva, Tom Dugan, Garrett Reynolds, Julian Ortega, Denham Cox, Joris Colom, Corey Martinez, Nathan Williams, Chase Dehart, Tyrone Williams, Stephen Fung, Desmond Rhodes, Dan Conway, Brandon Began, Dakota Roach, David Grant, Matt Ray, Charles Littlejohn, Max Miller, Dan Collar, Jacob Cable, Travis Hughes, Dave Crone, Devin Smiley, Billy Perry, Anthony Panza, Mark Burnett, Brock Rayford, Mike Hoder, Sean Riccani, and poor homie Rich. That is an insane lineup. So if you are out there and you're an AM and you feel like you can compete with these guys for $5,000, head out September 12th for this event and see if you can become the Dawn of the Street. And at the bottom of the last page, it says, only the Dawn runs the streets. It's pretty exciting. And the part that I think I'm the most excited about is the fact that someone like Austin Augie is putting up his own money, at least to my knowledge this year. I know last year it was his, putting up their own money for a contest for pros. And it's just something different. And if it's anything like last year, there's going to be a lot of people at this event. So then after that, we've got a whole bunch of information on another event that everyone absolutely loves, and that is the Battle of Hastings 2020. It is actually going to get to happen this year. There's an interview up on Vital BMX with Rich Moore, one of the founders of Source BMX, and he's answering a whole bunch of questions talking about the event. And basically this is the rundown. The event is happening, but no one from the US can come over to it. And the only people who can be in it are people from around Europe, which they don't even really truly know yet because it's always changing and the situation is fluid. And then the biggest change of all is that there's not going to be a crowd there. The only people who are going to be allowed at the event are the riders, the organizers, the live stream people, the judges, and then like the staff. That's it. So I feel like this year the Battle of Hastings won't really be the Battle of Hastings. It will still be the same format, and they're going to do the plaza and the videos and all of that stuff still. But without the crowd there, I feel like it's going to be a little bit different. Hopefully not too much different. Hopefully it still feels just like the Battle of Hastings, and we're still going to get the videos and things, but what we're not going to get is like during the live stream when they pan to the crowd and all of the big name riders who aren't actually in the event, who are just there hanging out and just everyone having an amazing time, and the people banging on the side of the thing where they're standing up on the balcony making all kinds of noise isn't going to be there. That might be a little bit weird, but like I said, at least they're going to get to have the event. Unfortunately, we won't get to see any of the US riders in it, but once again, at least there's going to be something for us to look forward to watching this year. And this is going down September 5th and September 6th. So it's the weekend before the Dawn of the Streets. So we've got two different things that we can look forward to seeing stuff from, and at least seeing that there's some kind of events that are going to be going on in BMX this year. And for anyone who might be wondering, the team captains for this year are as follows. We've got Sergio Leos, Courage Adams, Simone Baracco, and Tom Justice. Those guys all were on the winning team last year, so they're captains this year. Then we've got Alex Kennedy, Ben Wallace, Killian Roth, and Stuart Chisholm. So all of these guys are European riders, and I'm excited to see what this goes down at the Battle of Hastings for 2020. The sponsorship news for this week, the first thing that I have to talk about here is that DeMarcus Paul announced that he's no longer riding for Volume Bikes. And with this, I feel like there's something going on with Volume. I don't personally know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. I'm not just hiding it, but I feel like there's something going on. DeMarcus Paul quit. Then Mike Mastroni, the guy who made all of their videos and these things, recently was helped out by Full Factory to build up a bike. Then earlier this year or last, Tate Roskelly left Volume. And I just feel like a lot of the people are leaving Volume right now, and the only person I can think of who is left is like Billy Perry. And in looking at their website, Billy Perry is the only pro on Volume's website right now. So I have no idea what's going on with Volume. Hopefully they're going to continue being a company. Hopefully they don't just disappear, because they have been around for quite some time. time, and I'm sure that with time we will find out what is going on. After that, we had the news that Matty Aquazap is now riding for Relic BMX, and this came with another fantastic video shot and edited by Daryl Taco. And after that, we had the news that Matthias Dandois is now riding for Swatch. He's now on their Proteam. I think that this is a watch company, but this came with a welcome video as well, and I figured I would throw it in here for you guys that enjoy flatland riding. And real quick, something just came up to add to the sponsor section for this week, in that Felix Prankin is now riding for the Etnies Proteam. It came with a video. I haven't watched it yet, but I will link it in the description below, and you guys should probably check that one out. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I also remember seeing an Instagram post earlier this week from Ethan Corriere saying that he's now riding for Etnies. So I wonder if we're going to see even more people popping up riding for Etnies in the future. And that brings us into the videos from this week. And the first one that I want to talk about comes from Petr Felico, and it's his Take a Ticket section from the Colony DVD that came out recently. This is definitely one for those of you out there who enjoy park riding, but a few of the standout tricks in here for me that just had me going like, holy crap, were one, he did that truck driver to nose jam thing that he does, where he does a 360 out of a quarter and then nose jams in a wall and then 180s out. He did a truck driver into that. He did a truck into an over ice back over on a spine. He did an over ice back over 270 slider on a spine, which is absolutely insane. And then the one that I just was super surprised with, that I don't remember seeing, doesn't mean that it hasn't happened before, but I just don't remember seeing one, is that he did on a quarter pipe, he did a fakie to Superman seat grab, which is really, really cool. And just think about that trick. And I think that you definitely will enjoy watching this one. Then we had a video from Chocolate Truck that was just called Lil Mixtape, followed by a video on how to manual in 4 steps from Dustin Not Justin, and then a video on how to hand plant with Bryce Tryon. This is a good one for those of you who have somewhere to learn this. I feel like a hand plant is one of those tricks that just looks really, really cool, but isn't really all that hard to do once you figure it out. Then we had a video with Emerson Morgan from Animal, followed by a video with Calvin Kosovich and Travis Hughes using the Skate Spot app to have a session. They literally only used that app to go around to different spots that were in the app and have a session. This one was a little more vloggy and 7.5 minutes long, which I definitely enjoy seeing from these bigger name riders out there like Calvin and Travis. And I think if you guys even remotely enjoy videos with big name pros that are more vloggy, I think that you will enjoy this one. Then we had Justin Schwenke's section from the Weird and Revered DVD that came out last year. And I want to put out a formal apology to Justin for never getting around to reviewing this video when he asked me to. And I did genuinely want to review the video, but I never found the time to make it happen. I want to say I'm sorry for that. And everyone should go and watch his section as well as all the other sections from the Vagabond Squad DVD that Weird and Revered put out last year. Then we had the next Game of Bike in the Powers Bike Shop Game of Bike Championship that they're doing. If you haven't heard me talk about it in the past few weeks, Powers Bike Shop picked like 8 riders or something like that to put into head-to-head bracket style Game of Bike Championship. This one is with Shane Leeper and Jojo Hepler, and it was definitely just as entertaining as the previous ones, and I can't wait to see how this game progresses and moves on into the future. And then the last one that I have to talk about is called Fit Trippin' Volume 1, and basically what this is 2 different trip videos put together into one video that is longer and online for you guys to watch. This one is from 2010, and the first video in here is with Justin Inman and Brian Foster ripping around New Zealand, and then we've got Van Homan, Eddie Cleveland, Jackson Ratima, Pat King, and George Ramirez on a SoCal/NorCal trip for you guys to check out. This one is 18 minutes long, so I included it for any of you guys who might want a longer video to watch this week. And that brings us into the product section from this week. The first thing that I have to talk about here is one for all of you who enjoyed the Fingers Crossed videos with Ruben Alcantara and Garrett Burns. This is a video bike check with Ruben Alcantara on his bike from that series, going over all of the parts on the bike. So if you guys want to check that one out, as always, the link is in the description down below. And speaking of Ruben, Fly Bikes, after I don't even know how many years, has come out with the second version of Ruben's grips. And in looking, it's been 15 years of productions on the original Ruben grips. And honestly, I hope that they still sell both, because they have slimmed down these grips. And apparently they're supposed to have a better feel, but they're thinner, and I don't like thinner. And I was thinking about grabbing some of these grips again to ride. So if you guys have ridden the Ruben grips and you didn't like how thick they are, there is a new and improved version called the Fly Ruben 2. grips. And then after that, we had a video with Mike Gray promoting his signature trestle cranks from Premium. After that, we can move into the interview section from this week. The first thing that I have to talk about here is called Matt Hoffman, The Untold Stories, and it comes from Vital BMX, and it's Matt telling untold stories from his time in BMX. I've only had a chance to listen to like the first couple minutes of it, but I know from reading the description and just the fact that it's Matt Hoffman telling untold stories of his BMX life, it's gonna be something that you're gonna want to check out. And it's just under 50 minutes of an interview with Matt Hoffman. That's not something that we get to say every week, so definitely check that one out. And then we had the news that the Unclick podcast that Dennis Anderson was running is now back, but it's now under Our BMX. Basically, they started out this one with Ryan Fudger saying how he asked Dennis if he would want to sell the name and the podcast and stuff to Our BMX, and he basically just told them that they could have it. So they're bringing it back. It's not always going to have Dennis in it, but it is going to have it when it can. And the first one that they had since they brought it back is with Gary Young. There's a lot of stuff in here that I feel like a lot of people probably didn't know about Gary Young, and it's right off of the rip that they get into it, and it's a really, really, really good listen. I definitely recommend that everyone checks this one out. And with that being said, leave your comments in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't, and hopefully that will mean that we'll see you tomorrow for another video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.